to another episode of the latest to admire. Today, I am very excited to have a conversation with designer and content creator Shai DeLuca. Thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, yeah, so let's get started. So what is your process for creating content, and is it very time consuming?
Well, what a great question. To be honest, I didn't really kind of come into content creation as somebody who wanted to ever be a content creator. My profession, like you said, is interior design. That's what I went to school for. And content creation really became kind of a thing for me after October 7th. When I was back home, I started to use my social media platform because I do have quite a large public following because of the work that I do on television to do content creation. So this is kind of like even the first time that anybody's ever even called me a content creator. So thank you for that title. I'm going to add that onto my my list of duties. But my process is really I mean, I think I choose to speak about and to create content based on, what I feel like people need to hear. I think there's so much misinformation and disinformation in the world that I like to use my platform to as much as I possibly can to kind of combat that. So as much as it pertains to a process, I don't know necessarily that I would have a traditional process as probably many content creators do. It's very much kind of sit down in front of the camera and go.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, yeah, so what do you find to be the biggest challenge to continuously and consistently creating?
I really wish I could say that there wasn't enough content to to do the content creation that I do, but there's always something. So I think probably it's the turnaround of each day waking up to kind of a new reality. We kind of live in a world now where every day you wake up and sometimes the entire world is just different overnight and things change. So I try to stay on top of that as much as I possibly can and kind of give my take and my spin based off of my lived experiences in life, depending on whatever it is I'm talking about, whether it's design, whether it's my role on television, whether it's talking about activism, whatever it is that it's doing. It's just going into it and kind of speaking from the heart. It's very rare, if ever, I edit something because I find that. Kind of the way that I speak and what I say, the less editing, the more honest I feel, and the more true to what it is that I'm trying to say from the heart. Comes across a little bit more honestly and earnestly. So that's kind of it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so do you ever feel pressured to create?
I think that certainly in the world of social media and when it comes to algorithms and making sure that you kind of stay on the top of. You'll understand that I don't understand too much about this. Of course, I have my amazing publicist who Jill, who you've worked with, who she really kind of sits on top of, when it is that things are pertinent to be done. If it was up to me, I would do a video every day about, whatever it is that I'm feeling that day or whatever it is that I want to talk about that day. Of course, there are days that there are certain things that I need to speak about. Something has happened in the world, and it's pertinent and it's time, it's time sensitive. So oftentimes, I won't feel pressured to do it, but I'll understand the importance of timing.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so I know when I'm filming something for TikTok or any of my social media channels, there
Yeah,
are days when it takes me several takes to get it right. Um,
sure.
do you have a funny story about one of your outtakes that would make it on your blooper reel?
Oh my goodness, I have many blooper reels. Listen, I work in television now. The show that I work on now is live. We are live, so there is no editing and there's no, outtakes. There's no way to fix any mistakes. So that has really, I guess, seasoned me when it comes to, kind of doing as many or as less takes as I need to do. But the show that I worked on before, we were live to tape. So even though we were live, we still did have the opportunity to do some outtakes. I mean, I think probably the funniest thing that had ever happened to me that I don't know that I would necessarily put it on a blooper reel because I don't think anybody wants to hear it, but you sometimes forget that you're mic'd and you go to the washroom and your mic is hot. And, sometimes people hear you go to the washroom. And that was one thing that happened to me once with one of the camera guys. And I came back into the studio and everybody was staring at me. And I was like, what? They were like, your mic was hot. And I was like, oh, damn. Oh, no. But yeah, it's happened. Things happen.
Yeah, that is that sounds very difficult.
Yeah, it was difficult, and I'm not putting it on any blooper reels, so you're never gonna find it, but it happened.
Yeah. Um, so what is something people are always surprised to learn about you?
Oh, that is a good question. I mean, I think that oftentimes people have a certain idea about who I am. Certainly here in Canada, because I've been on television. My goodness, now for almost 15 years. I think people have a certain idea about who I might be because of things, my interior design and things that I've showed, throughout the years on the show. But then I think a lot of people also are um, pleasantly surprised most of the time, sometimes not, to find out that I also, have this kind of passion for activism and speaking out about things that I'm passionate about that, are not necessarily within the niche of design and my professional career.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. So what in your life brings you the most joy?
That would have to be my husband and my dog. Those are the two things that bring me the most joy. I mean, it's nice. I guess it's a cliche to say, but it's nice to close your eyes. The last thing that you see at night is to see kind of your family, and then to wake up in the morning and to that to be the first thing that you see. It's definitely a motivator for me, and it's definitely something that it's my happy space. And even in the toughest of days and the days that I find it to be most difficult, to be able to come home to somebody who understands me and have that person who can listen. And then of course she's asleep right now, but my dog is absolutely a source of joy for me. She's like a child, so even in the most difficult of moments, if I'm able to have her next to me, that definitely brings me joy.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. So who has had the biggest impact on the person you have become?
Wow, that's a loaded question. And I think over the years, of course, have been many people in my life who have had a lot of impact on my life. Different experiences in life have shaped. Certainly, I'm a different person than I was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But I think that if I had to pinpoint one person in my life that has had the greatest effect on who I am overall, it was definitely my grandmother. My grandmother for me was very much like a mom. She raised me in many ways. I lost her at a very young age, and that was a difficult period for me in my life. But who she was and what she instilled in me became that much more important to me throughout my life. So her voice is, all these years later, still that kind of defining factor in anything that I do. I will always think about, what would she do? Sometimes you'll even see me talking to myself as though I'm talking to her and saying, what is it that you would do? And she still, all these years later, is the defining factor in so much of what I do.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, yeah, so what has been the biggest obstacle you've overcome?
Uh, in life or specific to what?
Yeah, yeah, in life.
I mean, I think I've probably had, a few obstacles. I am the survivor of a terror attack back home in Israel. I was injured during my service. I had a time in my life where I had to come out as gay, and that was a challenge back then. So there's many different things that I think were challenges in my life, but none of them clearly were bad enough to silence me or to change the person that I am. I'm a person who very much believes in, and again, I don't want to sound cliche, but I believe in you can always find a silver lining in whatever the situation is. And I try, as hard as that is sometimes in many situations, I always try to let that be the defining factor in whatever happens. So even with challenges and, when I was younger, for example, I suffered anorexia. That was something that I went through and was a challenge. And like I say, the other things that I've been through later on in life, all these things are challenges at different points in my life. And yet today, when I look back at them, I try to pull the whatever I can learn or whatever I have learned from them in order to try to change that negative to a positive.
Wow. Yeah, that reminds me of my mom. She's always taught me and my sister that there's like something good to be found in any situation. If you just like look hard enough, there's something to laugh at or something to smile about.
I love that. I love that. That's such a great attitude to have. And I think that, any person who has any challenge in their life, as big or as small as it is, that's the attitude to have. Because, when you let things weigh you down, where does that bring you? Where does it, at the end of the day, ultimately, it doesn't bring you to any place that's good. So, if we can make the best out of whatever the situation is that we're dealt with, that's the way to do. So your mom is spot on.
Yeah. Yeah, I will I'll tell her you said that.
Please do. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, she was very excited that I was talking to you because we both just think you're just amazing. So,
Well, what is your mom's name?
Sheila.
Hi, Sheila. Thank you for that message. It's a great message.
Yeah, I will tell her you said that.
Please do.
Yeah. Um, so if you had a reality TV show about your life,
Uh-huh.
what would your theme song be?
Oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting that question. That's a good one. I'm a reality TV junkie, so that is like my where I go to unwind is reality TV. So that is a great that is a great question. Um, I think Unstoppable.
Ooh, yeah, I like
Yeah.
that's a good song.
I like it because I think that, each of us has the challenges in life that we're dealt. And I think that as long as we are as unstoppable as we can be with the challenges that we face, I think that that should definitely be kind of like a ruling factor. So I think that would be my choice. If I have to think of it right away, I think that would probably be my choice.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a great song.
Thank you. What would yours be?
Yeah. Oh, uh,
Oh, come on. You can't ask me. I'm not going to ask you back.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know. There's so many songs that immediately come to mind. I can't choose one.
I'm gonna choose one for you. I'm gonna say titanium is a good one for you. I like titanium.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, yeah, I'll go with titanium.
Done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, so is there someone who, without fail, always makes you laugh?
My husband is he's my He's my source of joy. He's the one person in the world who, no matter how, upset I am or frustrated I am about a situation, he can always make me laugh. And I think that that's, I not that I need to give anybody advice when it comes to choosing somebody to be to have in your life or a partner in life, but I think humor is one of the things that definitely you should have in your life. And when you choose to surround yourself with people, whoever it is, whether it's a partner, friends, whatever, I think that people who can make you laugh and who can bring a smile to your face is really important. But for me, it would definitely be Ricky.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think yeah, and I definitely agree with you that anybody who can make me laugh, like I just always want to be around.
I'm with you. Absolutely. I mean, who doesn't want to have joy in their life all the time? And,
Yeah.
if somebody can help you with that, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So do you have any irrational fears?
Yes, I do. I do. I love to travel and I have a horrible fear of flying. So, for me, and I travel a lot for work. In the last, I don't know, maybe 4 months, I think I've been at home maybe a total of a month and a week. So I do travel and fly a lot, but I have a horrible fear of flying. So it's really hard. At the beginning, I would medicate myself, but then, for the short haul flights, I would get off the flight a little loopy, and then that that would be a problem because I couldn't work right away. But I have an irrational fear of flying. I have an irrational fear of things like snakes and rats. I don't know why. I cannot. It's just a weird thing. Irrational fear. I know they're not going to hurt me. Most snakes won't do anything to you. On the weekend, we were with friends. We went for a Mother's Day hike with friends of ours who were celebrating her first Mother's Day. There was a snake. It was a water snake. I don't think water snakes do anything to you. There was a water snake there. I jumped farther than, I mean, I could have been in the Olympics. It was so far. Irrational fears.
Well, I definitely understand those. I do not like snakes or rats. If
Yeah.
there's any show that I'm watching with rats, like I have to skip the episode. There's
Oh,
one show I was watching that they had a whole I was watching when I started watching the show Grimm. The second episode was about this myth like with rats, and
oh.
I had to skip that episode. I was like,
I'm
I can't
with
watch
you.
that.
I'm with you. You know what? I went to university in New York City. So rats, were things that, I had just moved from Israel. And rats was not something that we would see a lot back home or where I lived. And then moving to New York City, you see them everywhere. And I think for me, when I saw the size, like, I'm talking like cats, they were like huge. So for me, I was like, no.
Yeah,
I was if it's that big and it can, if it can come up to me, if it's not scared of me, then I'm scared of it. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Even just talking about it now, I'm kind of like
Yeah, I
pivoting in
feel
my
you.
seat.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. Um, so I am pop culture obsessed, and I go in stages of shows that I
Yeah.
cannot stop watching. Uh,
Okay.
is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Well, like I said, I'm a reality TV junkie. So oh God, I hate to admit this because I feel like it like lessens my value in the eyes of people. But I love any reality TV. Every Housewife franchise I watch, I know every single one. I but then again, I also love true crime. So I can sit and I can watch true crime for hours. I can watch Housewives for hours. I love to watch anything where I can. TV for me is very much a disconnect. So, at the end of the day, if or on a weekend, if I want to just disconnect kind of from, everything that I did, it's a way just to kind of, let my mind go and kind of live in a different reality. So that's why I love reality TV so much because I can laugh at other people's problems and not have to think of it on my own. Um, but I am a big reality TV junkie, so I think reality TV is that I'm gonna have to admit that to you. It's reality TV.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, for me, I've never like I don't know, there's something about reality TV like I don't know, I need to watch something that I know is fictional that like I
Okay.
can escape from reality. That
Right.
even though
Right.
reality TV is not reality, I like watching something that's like
What's your
fiction.
favorite?
Um, there's like my favorite show.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many. One of my all-time favorites is Will and Grace.
Oh, I love Will and Grace. And I
Yeah,
love Deborah Messing. She's one of my favorite people in the world. But I
yeah,
love Will and Grace. Yes.
yeah, yeah. That's yeah, one of my comfort shows that I've seen every episode more times than I can count.
Oh, I thought of another one that's actually also a favorite of mine.
Oh yeah.
This is probably aging me a little bit, but Golden Girls.
Oh
I can
yeah.
watch that on repeat for like I know every episode and I probably know every episode by heart.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's so fun. I
Yeah.
there was a couple weeks ago that my mom and I we were watching the final season of You, and we watched the very last episode and it was at night, so we were like, now we need something before
I
we
know
go
something.
to bed to not to like that's funny. So
Correct.
we were just watching um several episodes of the Golden Girls.
That is always Golden Girls is always good for if you just need something to just kind of, make
Yeah,
you laugh and kind of forget something. That they're
yeah,
always the best for it. I agree.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. So what lessons from your childhood have most impacted your worldview?
My goodness. Well, childhood, when you say childhood, I mean, up to what age is that? I think probably, like I said, my grandmother was very much somebody in my life who raised me, and I think losing her at such a young age was, very much like almost losing a parent. So I think that very much shaped, a lot of who I was then, and then of course the other things that I went through in life, even though I wasn't a child per se, but in my formative or younger years, like I say, being surviving a terror attack and that kind of thing. I think those are things that definitely shaped me and definitely gave me a worldview that I certainly wouldn't have had they not happened. But again, I look at it and I say that I am grateful to have survived all of the things that I did, and being able to use them as a tool in being able to kind of look at the positive that's come out of it or how it shaped me is something that I'm grateful for, even though they happened.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, and I'm so glad that you're okay. I,
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
yeah. Yeah, I remember when I woke up and like I was seeing everything about that and just I went into like a total spiral that I feel like
Mhm.
I haven't completely come out of yet. Um
Listen, I think, this is our generation's thing. And I don't know that a lot of people will necessarily ever come out of it. I think it's something that we're going to carry with us. And it's going to be, very much a defining moment for our generation and kind of for the world now. So I certainly wouldn't feel badly about it. You are in good company. I don't think I myself will ever come out of it.
yeah. Yeah. So I just, yeah, my mom also is like, I try to remind myself, and my mom reminds me that, I'm not alone in feeling this way,
Yep.
which is very helpful to remember.
It's extremely helpful to remember. And listen, I think that it's these difficult moments, these defining moments that really prove just how strong our community is. And I obviously I hate when bad things happen, but that comfort of knowing that that community, that it doesn't matter what happened the day before, that when push comes to shove, we always come together is something that is definitely a comfort.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Um, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
It would probably be trigger warning. He's going to say something that's going to offend you. I, I, I listen. I know I have a big mouth and I don't really have a filter, so that would probably be my warning label.
I like
No
that
filter
one.
included.
Sorry, what?
No filter included would be my warning label.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister and I always make fun of our mom for that she has no filter, but then we're like the same way.
But I love that. You know what?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When I moved to Canada, I found, you come from Israel and you come from a place that nobody has a filter and everybody just says everything what they want. And you move to a country that's very much filtered and people are very polite, and everybody thinks twice about what they say. For me, it was it was a learning curve. Even though I spent years here when I was younger, still it was a learning curve coming back after all those years, after spending so many years in an environment where filters, people look at you and they're like, just say what you want to say. So I appreciate that. I love that you're like that. Keep being like that. Say what you want to say. Don't worry about it. Just say what you want to say, because people want to hear what you have to say without all of the filters. And I feel like when you filter stuff, things get misconstrued. It's much better when you just say what you have to say.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's yeah, I like people who don't have a filter.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. Not a lot of people tell me that, so I love this.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have one last question for you.
Sure.
Um, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is from one of my all-time favorite movies, Turtles All the Way Down. And it's Your now is not your forever.
Oh,
Um,
I love
and
that.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
I think, there's many quotations in life, obviously, that inspire me, but I think lately, just because of, kind of this activism that I've kind of taken on myself, I think for me, one of my favorite quotes that I use so very often is, I am not a Jew with trembling knees. I think that certainly, the Jewish community, oftentimes because of the intergenerational trauma that we have, I think oftentimes are afraid of certain things that happen in the diaspora. And I try to implore on people as much as I possibly can the idea of, we no longer need to be that mentality. We no longer need to be Jews with trembling knees. And that doesn't necessarily only refer to, or doesn't only have to refer to, our community. Nobody should be a person with trembling knees. We shouldn't be afraid to, speak our truth and be honest in who we are and stand up for what we believe in.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was my final question for you.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. I've had the best time talking with you. So,
Me as well. It was my absolute honor. And please, keep in touch. I mean, I love your content. I love what you do. So, keep doing what you're doing, because you're absolutely amazing. And I'm really honored that you asked to speak with me.
oh, thank you so much. That means the world.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, and I can't wait to keep watching your content and seeing all the amazing things you're doing.
Thank
Um,
you. Thank you so much, Maya. I appreciate that.
yeah, 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 so I again thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest to Admire.